Travis, how you doing? Paula, hello. Gary, what's up? Friday night, TGIF. So do you guys notice any difference in my camera angle? It's a little bit higher. Is that better or worse, or does anybody care? Okay. Let's... Cindy, hello. Let me pick up somebody else. Rita. Okay. Let's get started. Swamp Watch. 6/28/19. I'm going to start with, I think, what makes the most sense, and that's JFK Jr. You guys, can you see my face? Is it the camera angle okay? Yeah, it's the 28th. Yes, so you guys can see me okay. Okay. All right. Anyway, JFK Jr. I've been posting. I think you guys have seen the videos from God, for the life of me, Allison Mack, right? I think. How you doing, Dave? When you look at those, I I don't know how most of you guys feel, but they're pretty compelling videos. And when you put it together with everything else, with with what happened at the crash site, with them, cremating the bodies and then spreading the ashes at sea, no big ceremony, the whole thing with the dog, it just fits. We put it in with the timing with him going to Bill Clinton, was right before this. So I think at this point, I'm like I've said, I'm better than 90% sure that JFK Jr. is alive. I just don't see President Trump would have to be in on this. I mean, everybody saw the videos, I think, by now. You watch those videos and you can't deny that there's interaction, and that there's interaction between whoever these two people are and in their conversations. And when she's doing the lip reading stuff, I don't know. So here's my take on this. I think there's an opportunity here for us as watchmen. And just kind of bear with me here. What is our main goal? what are we trying to accomplish? Um, it's to wake up as many people as we can and get them prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually for what's coming. Well, as we all know, that's not real easy to do. You've really got to find a way, because nobody wants to hear this stuff, right? Nobody wants to hear that the world's going to change. Even when people have it not great, if they're getting by, they're happy because they're afraid of if it gets worse. We got to stop thinking that way, first off. I mean, that's how they want us to be thinking. That's how they put us in this position. Yeah, I remember when we were kids, my dad worked for the forestry. He made, I think he made like $8,000 a year. We owned a house. We always had food. We never went hungry. Life was good. My mom didn't have to work. You compare it today, and most people are working 2 jobs. And a lot of times, both the husband and wife are working 2 jobs each. We can't survive like that. That's no life. We deserve better than that. Our founders intended us to have better. God certainly intended us to have better. I think we can use this to help us in our quest to wake people up. What I've been doing is all of those videos that I've been posting the last several days, couple of weeks, I've been sending them to all my friends. And Rita, I think, gets a credit for this because I didn't even think about, and I don't know why, but I didn't even think about asking you guys to do the same thing. I've just been asking you to repost it, right? Well, hell, it makes sense to send them to the people we know for a couple of reasons. First off, anybody who I'm emailing to knows me pretty well. They know where I've been the last 5 years. So to them, it's not a surprise. But what it'll do, though, is if this is true, and if he comes out on the 4th of July, and my God, especially if they announced him as the 2020 running mate, well, I believe that's all going to happen. I'm just not sure if they're going to do everything on the 4th. Maybe on the 4th, they're just going to bring him out and just he makes an appearance and we celebrate that he's back from the dead. It really doesn't make any difference. It's the biggest story of the century. Maybe, who knows? It's huge. It's worldwide news instantly. And the point is, you send that email to your relative today and maybe with a note, pay attention on the 4th, and then this goes down. Do you think they might want to talk to you after that happens? When something they're going to say nobody in the world could see coming. When you knew about it ahead of time, I think that gives you at least an opportunity, because they're going to want to know more, right? How in the hell did you know about that? I mean, it's human nature, especially on a story that's going to go down for millennia. If this comes off the way I think it's going to, this guy comes back from the dead, and in 6 years as the president of the United States, my God, think about it. I mean, just think about what the country's going to do when they see him. And then, you know what the next step is? Because if he's real, Q's real. So it just ties everything together, and it basically, it makes our jobs so much easier to have that in, right? Because it's just going to connect the dots after that. Their ears are going to be open for maybe the first time. They're going to be asking for information instead of us trying to ram it down their throats. So, we probably could, because obviously, again, they know who we are. You're probably going to have a little bit of opportunity anyway. But I think, especially on people who are on the fence, if you're going to them today or tomorrow or whatever, before the 4th, with this Allison Mack video or videos, there's a series that I would send at least probably the 2. I sent part 1s and 2 or I posted parts 1s and 2. But she's got a whole series of these things. It really doesn't make any difference, right? It's JFK's alive, basically, is a story. And you're letting them know before anyone else does that it's true. Or it's a possibility that it's true. And then it comes true. I don't know. I think it's pretty powerful stuff. And I think it would be crazy to waste this opportunity. One of these, criminal Democrats at one point, you don't ever want to waste a good shooting or something. It was, something sick. We don't want to waste for sure the greatest story of my lifetime. And, what are you going to go back to Jesus? I don't know. This could even be, if you look at just the numbers of people that are going to know about this instantaneously. I mean, just think about it. Where in the world would you be that you wouldn't hear about this? And then what people are going to start asking questions, right? What the hell happened? He wasn't underwater for 20 years underground. That in and of itself is going to be a great story. What he's been doing for the last 20 years. And I think that he's been planning this for 20 years. They've been working on this. I think this has been a full-time job for 20 years. That when he went undercover, since that day, well, and before that, right? Because he had to set it all up and set the stage to do that. And to take this 20 years, let's say, you look at the Q drops, it was like a 20-year plan. And where are we at? We're 20 years later. Pretty fascinating stuff. So I think, what do you have to lose, right? We all know that, if you're following half of the material that we're posting on the page, that the economic collapse is on us. The reset is coming. The swamp it's actually draining as we speak, although the mainstream isn't on top of that yet. We're days or weeks from everyone understanding that our world has changed forever. So whether we stick our necks out a little bit now with these videos We're not going to have long to wait before, if it's not JFK Jr., it's something else that's going to rip people awake. There's no when this comes out, when all of this, when the arrests start, and Obama goes down, and the Clintons go down, and at some point the economy, right? That's coming. If the reset isn't in the next week, there's not going to be a place on this earth, at the top of the Himalayas maybe. But where are you going to hide from this? Where are you going to be that you don't know about this? And then, like, as we've said, and I think, again, over and over, is the greatest danger that we face in the next year, my opinion, is cognitive dissonance. That we could get into some marginally dangerous situations that could escalate. And with a lot of people with cognitive dissonance running around basically in a fog, it could make a marginal situation bad. So the more people that, have those seeds planted, that are aware that something's coming, they may not believe it, but these people keep saying it. And so when it happens, it's not a shock to them, right? It's not out of the clear blue. And that's, as I think probably most of you have experienced, the pedophilia, the hardest part is right in the beginning, right? It's taking that in, and then there's so much of it in that first few weeks is painful. But once you get through that couple of weeks, you kind of harden to it, which we have to do, because that's what's going to enable us to be there for the people that need us. It's not going to be an easy job, guys. Well, it's going to be easy for me, I think, because when we get to that point, it means that the swamp is done, and it means that if we're not already there, we're in the on the cusp of the collapse or reset. It means that we're headed the other direction. You know what I'm saying? Up to this point, it's like we've got to take down the swamp to kind of turn the corner and get on the home stretch to rebuilding this thing. And to me, that's the switch, is the swamp draining. The reset is going to be a huge part of that, but one doesn't happen without the other. It's just not going down that way. And so the best thing we can do, in my opinion, is to use these videos and to set the stage for next week, and then be ready. Be ready for the phone calls, and be ready to make a few phone calls, right? I'm sure all of us have somebody that... I've got a list of, if this goes down, on the 4th, that day, there's at least 25 people I'm gonna call. And I'm not gonna call them to tell them I told them so. I'm calling them to let them know that there are no hard feelings, and if they have any questions, I'm there for them. It's what we need to do at this point. It's how we pull together. We've got to be there for each other right now. And it's going to be hard. Just think. We know, think about this. It's hard for us hearing about this stuff, and we're on the right side of it, right? We're behind the guy that's taking this down. Think about not only being on the other side of it, a Clinton globalist supporter, but then having it shoved in your face that you're an idiot because you supported these people. Here's what they've been doing. Imagine being in those shoes. So let's not make it any worse for them than because it's not going to help, right? It's not going to help our goal, which is to get these people through this as painfully, as painlessly as we can. That wasn't a Freudian slip. Listen, maybe it was. We've got to be better people than that. We've got to be above it, right? It would be, maybe satisfying for an instant to rub somebody's nose in it, but then you're going to feel like shit later because you did the wrong thing. The right thing is to be there for anybody who needs you, to answer those questions the best you can, or point them in the best direction you can, right? It's not hard. We've got the resources, right? I mean, it's all information. It's all stuff we have already. The things they need to know, I think you guys have mastered. We've got a great support group here, right? We're building a really good team. There's 500 of us now, and it's growing every day. And trust me, when this hits, whenever it is, this week or next week, whatever comes down, whatever God decides, it's going to explode. The membership's going to explode, and your phone's going to be exploding. People are going to blow up your phone. And so let's all try and get some rest these next few days, because if it hits on the 4th, it's going to be big, and it's going to be just think about it. The difference I see is that up to this point, it's the drudgery of the fight, right? If this goes down on the 4th with JFK Jr., it's just imagine the excitement that brings to this movement. It's brilliant. If it goes down like this, just how the president and his team have come up with this plan that, with all we know, the power of the CIA, right? And obviously the deep state and the globalist elite, to be at this point, to do this, to get this done, it is, again, man's greatest accomplishment. I name something that's even close in my. I don't think you can name anything that's close. Anyway, moving on to the economy. Dow's up 73, Nasdaq's up 38. Bitcoin's back on the upswing, up 801 to 12,279. Litecoin was up 372 to 119.89. I bought 5 more today. I'm probably going to buy 5 or 10 more tomorrow. Gold, did I say gold? Gold up 50 cents, 14.12. Silver is up 5 cents to 15.35. The economy, fireworks. Expect some fireworks coming. The whole thing's falling apart. It's hard to find a sector that is above water. So, the bonds, the whole thing is crap. And the world's finally starting to see it. And all backed by a fiat dollar that's not worth the paper it's written on. So, again, hopefully we get the reset coming soon. If not, the organic financial collapse can't be far behind. So, what are you waiting for? We got Litecoin under 120 and silver, under 1550. There's no excuses. Again, don't be the person that misses the boat. Don't be the person that had $120 and didn't buy a Litecoin, and then Litecoins ends up being 3 million by 2024. I think those numbers are conservative, guys. And when you start to listen to some of these analysts talk now, there's going to be kind of a buzz building to this, to the collapse or the reset, and it's going to create a frenzy. So when this happens, it's going to be like a shark feeding frenzy for both physical silver and for the cryptos, and especially Bitcoin and Litecoin. And we know the numbers, right? Makes no sense to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is probably the premium coin out there, and probably will stay the premium coin out there. But it's 12,000 plus a piece. The same analysts who say Litecoin is going to be 3 million 2024, Bitcoin's going to be 12 million. Well, that doesn't pencil. How many Litecoin can you buy for $12,200? 100? Is that what it is? Again, guys, math right now for me is not good. And then you can use it as you can use your Coinbase as your secondary bank account. So there's some strategy involved here too, guys. You want to protect your assets the best you can. And having your money in the bank isn't protecting your assets. Using Coinbase, you can have your cash in Coinbase. And I've gone through this before. Anybody who's interested in learning about that, just message me, please. It's really easy to do. You can transfer back and forth between your bank account and your Coinbase account, moving cash or coins into cash at Coinbase and transferring them into your account. Transfers can be the same day if you do it in the morning. So it's a great way to get your money out of the banking system, but still have it protected, right? And like me, everything I've got in Coinbase is in Litecoin. If I want to, I'm not a trader, and I don't recommend anybody trading right now. We should be hodlers, holding on for dear life. You hold it until it skyrockets. And I don't plan on touching mine till it's $1 million. I've got my silver to sit on. I can always cash in a little bit if when it goes through the roof. But you're going to want to hold it as long as you can, right? The longer you hold it, the longer it's going to be, the more it's going to be worth, and it's going to be going up for the next 10 years. It's going to be a steady rise. So, let's see what we got for questions. Okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about. PC. Yeah. Rita's pointing out what I've been talking about. The Democrats are done. Just draining the swamp would end the Democratic Party and the mainstream media. They're done. But just JFK Jr. on top of that, telling his story about why he had to go underground because of this deep state corruption. Hello, Joan. Hello, Scott. Dave. Okay. Cousin Jackie, how you doing? Oh God, yeah. You think about the look on Hillary's face. Well, listen, they already know, guys. They're not. You can see them now. They know that they're done. There's nothing. It's over. I mean, they still could cause some havoc, but they're not getting out of this. Judgment Day's coming. Justice will be served. Every single one of them is going down. Yeah, JC's got a good point. Q is having a bigger impact in the EU than he's having in America. And that's all I think. Well, you know, I'm not sure because I know that the media in the EU is bad too. So it's kind of hard to explain. Well, except here's the thing. The I think most of the rest of the world, looking from the outside in, could see all of the contradictions and they knew that things were bad in the United States where Americans thought, everything's fine, right? We had the blinders on. We were all too busy going 90 miles an hour to try and keep up, and they took advantage of that. I mean, they planned it to happen that way. This is not an accident. But it's going to be coming real quick this week, I think. Yeah, Travis. Yeah, the magazine said it had I think there were several questions, and then it said, I don't remember if there were questions or predictions, but it said, keep this for 20 years, and kind of see how it matches up, right? Well, we're going to see real quick here. Well, that's God is the one who's going to have the final say on when the swamp goes down, and when the swamp goes down is when there's going to be no denying. How you can't hide Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, the whole Clinton family, the people that are going to be going down. It's the game. It's over then. These guys already know they're in enough trouble, right? All these newscasters, these talking heads. Most of these guys are guilty of treason. They've colluded with the CIA to do this stuff. They knew what they were a part of. Some of them are going to hang, but you know, once Obama and Clinton go down, they're certainly not going to keep singing that tune, right? It's over. Yeah, there's no way. Everybody who originally said that the collapse was going to have, in fact, I'm talking about guys that 3 months ago were saying that the collapse was going to happen in 2020, are now saying, yeah, this year. So, you know, there's nobody that's credible, that's honest, that's going to say 2020 because we're in it right now. Yeah, if it wasn't for the loss protection team, we'd already be done. But they, you know, they're buying up. They've got all this free money, buying up the stocks, propping up the economy. It's all on our money, but we're getting it all back. That's the other thing. I keep seeing, you know, well, I think people are having a hard time comprehending. This isn't playtime. Our world is never going to be the same. People are having a hard time believing. Well, what do you mean they're gonna take Google's assets or Walmart's or Facebook's? Yeah, yeah, they are. And what the president, how that all goes down, it's going to be interesting to see, but it's going to go down, and the people behind the wheel, Schmidt and Zuckerberg, Bezos, they're going to prison. They're not going to have a dime when they get done with this. You can bet every little pile they rat holed somewhere is known about. The NSA has been spying on these people for as long as they've been spying on us, and that's at least over 20 years, and I think probably more like 30. So they've got it all. There's nowhere for these jackasses to hide. They had it all on us. And with that information, they were going to eliminate 7 billion people from the earth over the next 80 years. And now it's being turned against them. You don't think God has a hand in this? The world has changed forever, and it probably starts this coming week. So we got to be on our toes, guys. Yeah, Mike. Mike, I'm glad you mentioned that, Travis. Mike's mom had a fall and is in the hospital. And I think he said she broke her neck, which is not good for anyone, let alone somebody who's a little bit elderly. So we all need to pray for Mike's mom. Yep, guys. There's um, if we want to do a better world, now's the time to make a better world. Um, the odds were stacked against us up until President Trump. Now at least we're going to be on an even playing field. I had an argument the other day with a guy who was telling me that, you know, evil's always going to be around, and you know, they're always going to challenge us, and I disagree. The only way evil has survived to this point is they've been hidden in the shadows, right? They couldn't come out, you know, and be open with this crap. The world you think is going to go along with it? That's where they were headed to. When they got complete control, then we had no choice. What are we going to do? We're going to be their adrenochrome source. The bottom line is now, today, the light's going to shine on this evil. And it's going to be shown on them forever. So, yeah, there may be evil in the world, but it is never going to be allowed to get the stranglehold on the earth that they had on us. Because we were this close to it being over, to being lost forever, to the human race being lost forever, to be nothing but slaves. And we really have been slaves for the last several thousand years, probably since Babylon. But just think if Hillary Clinton would have got in. And this Agenda 21 was allowed to continue. Hell on earth is where we were headed. And now, with a flip of a switch, the shoe's on the other foot. We're driving the bus now. Now it's on us. What kind of world are we going to make? And this is what God wants. This is the church God wants. God never wanted us to build these big monuments to basically man and money. He wanted us to, the church was every day, how we lived our lives, how we treat each other. The golden rule, that's the church. It's not complicated. I think pretty much, unless you're mentally unstable, most people understand the difference between right and wrong. It's that simple. Do the right thing. And then when you do, and especially for the people, for the watchmen who are, you know, out there sticking your necks out every day, exposing yourself to the attacks and the ridicule, you know, paying it forward and doing something for somebody that's probably changing their lives for the better. It's worth every minute of the bad stuff we have to go through. And it's life-changing. Changed my life for the better. And once you get into that mode, you just wanted to keep doing more of it. So just think about that. It's a numbers game, guys. That's what the Watchman was really about. Creating this was a way to have more people doing what I've been doing and reaching God 500 times more. It's amazing the reach. We're I think on almost every continent. Most of the countries through Europe. We've got the worldwide Watchmen now. We have to keep that going. We have to do the right thing. And I don't expect anything different from you guys. You know, you're not still here if you didn't want to be a part of it. Nobody's got a gun to your head, right? And there's a reason that you are here. This isn't an accident. This isn't a coincidence. It's like Jamie Sanders and I don't even know. I couldn't tell you how we ended up having a chat one day, and a day or two later, we start this page, and now there's 500 plus members doing 500 times more good. We got to keep that rolling because the job's getting bigger and we need more people. So keep that in mind when you're reaching out. It's about the unity. It's about pulling together. I've said it before. Every time as Americans we've been faced with a crisis, we've pulled together, and every time we've come out ahead. It's going to happen now. You can't. It's like the momentum is already too far gone. Don't get in the way of this movement because you're going to get freight trained. There's nothing stopping this. And it's not just going to be here. It's going to be worldwide. And I'm going to bet that socialism that we have been in the battle of our lives with is done in 5 years. That this movement will end socialism forever from this planet. It'll be exposed for what it is, the control structure to murder and control the population. And it's not going to work anymore. Remember, guys, beware of the cognitive dissonance. Here's the problem. We've got to be positive, delivering what most people perceive as bad information. And here's the story is that it's not bad. The perception is bad. But the reality of what's coming, man's greatest age, greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Be a part of it. I mean, we need to be encouraging people and not let him slip into that cognitive dissonance state. So you got to be on your toes when you're talking to people. I think I'm going to end it here, guys. Remember, please like and share as much as we can over these next couple of weeks. It's going to be really important. We got to plant those seeds. So like and share as much positive, patriotic, Christian content as you can. Be there for the people that need you. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are 100% in control. We'll see you at the next one. God bless.